Back with another video for you today, and this video is my top 20 compliment getter fragrances video, and the collection of fragrances are from more luxury brands, over $100, and we're gonna do all that coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. If this is your first time landing on this channel and or you've been watching videos here for a while but you haven't still subscribed yet, please click that subscribe button below and also click that bell icon so you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. And I wanted to start off with a couple of announcements before moving forward with the list. Just wanted to mention that we're still having people not claiming their giveaway prizes, and as I had mentioned in the video from a month or so ago, we are allowing 2 weeks. After that, your prize is no longer. So if you participate in a giveaway, please come back and check the videos, because the videos have a tagging of your announcement video. There you can go to the announcement video and look and see if you've won. And like I said, there's been people not claiming their prizes, and it's unfortunate because sometimes you are a winner but you're still not claiming it. So do that. Also, I put out the video, my first impressions review video for Fucking Fabulous from a few days ago. If you haven't watched that, please do watch that. There should be a link at the top. And there's a giveaway with that as well. It's for a 5 ml decant of Fucking Fabulous, so that if you're trying to figure that one out and you haven't figured out a way to get it, now's your chance to win that fragrance decant. All right, let's move forward with the compliment getter fragrances. As I said, there's 20 here. These are from 20 brands. Well, I guess they're not 20 different brands. There's multiple fragrances from some of the brands here, but they're all luxury fragrances, perhaps, or more expensive than $100. Mostly niche, but we also have some designers here that have their upper scale collections of fragrances, like the private blend collections and so forth. And these are all compliment getters for me, and that's a really awesome thing when you get compliments for wearing fragrances. So we're gonna get started with number 20, and number 20 is from the house of MAISON KURKDJIAN, and this is AQUA VITAE FORTE. Now this is not AQUA Universalis Forte, this is AQUA VITAE Forte. AQUA Universalis Forte is more lemon, this is more vanillic orange to me, almost like an orange creamsicle, but not quite that orangey, but still very, very orangey and vanillic, but still fresh. And this one's also got this like beautiful musky base that I really like, and I think that's what triggers the compliments for me with this fragrance. It's just really, really gorgeous. It's a later discovery compared to AQUA Universalis Forte, but I'm almost like falling more in love with this one, as that it's newer to me than the other one. But the other one's also on this list, and it'll be closer to the top. Stay tuned for that. But this is a gorgeous, gorgeous scent. These two from the Fortes from MAISON KURKDJIAN, even though they're freshies, both of them garner me lots of compliments, and I really like both of them. I mean, the originals, the non-Forte versions are pretty darn good, but these are really, really awesome for me. So AQUA VITAE Forte is number 20. So at number 19, we're going to the house of Eccentric Molecules. And this is one of their newest fragrances. This is Molecule 4. Now, I think you saw a video that I put out earlier this year about this fragrance. I think it was in April. And my nose was not used to this fragrance yet, and I couldn't smell anything. But now, it's like sandalwood heaven for me. Like I could smell sandalwood a mile away with this one. I'm not sure what happened, but that's the same reaction I had with the original Molecule 1, which is also on this list. But I couldn't hardly smell anything, but now sandalwood is just like big. And that's what really triggers the compliments with this one. It's just really, really awesome that way. And it connects with my chemistry, and that's what, you know, actually makes for those compliments that I get wearing this one. It's just really gorgeous, and my days are like really complicated days, but I'm self-employed, so I don't have to go anywhere, and I spray on fragrances all the time. Like 1 hour I'm doing one fragrance, another hour I'm doing another fragrance, so I'm just constantly trying out different fragrances. But then again, at the end of the day, I don't want a complicated fragrance, so I wear something like this where it's just simple. So I go out, and this is when people start smelling this. And when I'm like a little bit sweaty and I've sweated walking somewhere, usually I'm running around. So that's the time when this fragrance really shines, and once it mixes with my chemistry is when people start complimenting. Like as I'm shaking it, I can smell that sandalwood here. It's a synthetic molecule, Javanol, that's supposed to smell like sandalwood. So it's just one molecule fragrance. There's no other notes in it. If you don't know it, do check it out. It's it's molecule 4 from Eccentric Molecules. That's at number 19. This next one is from the house of Jo Malone. And I used to be a really big Jo Malone fan. At the end of the 90s, early 2000s, actually more a little further on into 2000s, I got burnt out from the really strong fragrances of the 90s. I went fresh and I was wearing a lot of Jo Malone. So I stopped that and went back at the end of the 2000s, and since then I've just been into lots of different fragrances. But this is one of their supposedly most popular or best-selling fragrances. It's called Wood, Sage, and Sea Salt. Now this one, something about it in this fragrance just gets lots of compliments from me. People just stop me and ask me what I'm wearing. I think what it is about this one is that saltiness. It mixes well with sweat because sweat is kind of salty, and there's this bright, beautiful woodiness, and the sage in there just makes for a really, really beautiful scent. And I think that's what causes the compliments or gets the compliments. I don't know what it is, but it's really, really a great release from Jo Malone. To me, it's actually a very, very like not complicated release. Well, actually, Jo Malone fragrances are not complicated to begin with, but it's very, very simplistic kind of a fragrance, and it has mass appeal to it. That's also another reason why I think this Wood, Sage, and Sea Salt gets me lots of compliments. But overall, a beautiful scent, very simple, perfect fragrance to wear on warm days, or if you just have one fragrance you wear all year round, that's the kind of fragrance to wear right here. So this is Wood, Sage, and Sea Salt by Jo Malone, and that's at number 18. Next up, we're going to the house of Tom Ford, and it's the Tom Ford Private Blend Noir de Noir. And I only have my little atomizer. I didn't bring my little flacons down here, but boy, this one gets me lots of compliments. And I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorites, although it's kind of slipped because they're diluting the fragrance and making it less potent, which is still fine. I think it still smells great. But I'm a little bummed that what I used to get like 4 years ago is not the same as what's being sold these days because it's kind of watered down. But still, it's one of my favorite Tom Ford fragrances, and the combo of that chocolatey earthiness with the rose, the dark earthiness, just is awesome. And people stop me and ask me what I'm wearing. Sometimes it might be strong because I might put too many sprays on, but compliment getter to the max for me. And it's been a compliment getter ever since I started wearing it. People just always ask me. And I tell them rose, and they kind of have to like re-smell me again to see where that rose is, because even though it's a rose dominant fragrance, it's more about the earthiness, the woodiness, the oud, and the tuber note that's in here supposedly, and everything else that's combined with it. Just a really, really sexy rose. And I think that's also another reason why compliments come with this one. So Noir de Noir at number 17. We're going with another rose next. And this one I've stopped wearing for a while, but I've been back on it and I still get compliments. And this is Rose Oud from KILIAN, by KILIAN. And Rose Oud is the oud and rose combo, the very, very classic oud and rose combo that's very popular with a lot of fragrances. I mean, they tend to put that rose with that oud, and it's just a top seller kind of a fragrance. But you know what? Rose really works well with oud anyway, so that's why there's lots of different releases with the two combo. But this one actually, just people stop and ask me what I'm wearing. I don't know what it is. I think it's because my body temperature heats up faster than other body temperature, I guess. I tend to sweat a lot, so I think once that happens, the fragrance starts projecting off of me a lot more, and people smell me more, and of course they're smelling the fragrance, and those are the times when I get lots of compliments with this one. And sometimes I get lots of compliments at bars too, when I sit at the bar and having a cocktail. And I think because I don't drive in the city here in San Francisco, I walk everywhere, so I sweat a little bit walking to the places I'm going to the bars and things like that. And when you sit down in like an air-conditioned bar, your hot body temperature and your smells are just, you know, projecting off of you, and it hits people's noses. That's usually kind of like really, really interesting with bars. I pick up smells stronger. It's just because the hot temperature of the body versus the coolness of the bar. But anyway, this is just a compliment getter. Major compliment getter with this one. If you don't know Rose Oud, do try it. I think it's one of the best Rose and Oud combos ever. So Rose Oud by Kilian is number 16. Next up is number 15, and it's from the house of NISHANE. NISHANE, actually. It's not Nishan. It's NISHANE, Istanbul brand, and I did a review of this one earlier this year. And this is HACIVAT, this one right here. Now this one, there's the whole AVENTUS-like vibe of this fragrance, and these kind of fragrances always get me compliments, lots of compliments. But I've only had this one for a little bit, and I haven't really put it to use, but still, as soon as I started wearing it, people started complimenting me about the scent, and because it's kind of simplistic, but still very complex, also very potent. It's a really strong fragrance, this HACIVAT. If you're a fan of AVENTUS, you might want to check this one out because this one really performs well. It's an extrait de parfum concentration, so a lot stronger. So do that, check it out, and it smells great. It's sort of like AVENTUS, but this is a lot more luxurious, I think, a lot more potent, a lot more thicker and stronger, and mixing with my body chemistry just gets me lots of compliments, just all the time. So do check it out. It's NISHANE HACIVAT, and that's at number 15. So at number 14, we're going to the house of ORLOV. This is a house that a lot of people don't talk about. ORLOV Paris, and the focus of the brand is all inspired by diamonds. And this is Sea of Light, this one right here. So what I like about this one, man, I just put my nose on it and I just love the smell of it. It's like a floral, almost slightly fruity, citrus, mostly citrus, but there's like little other fruity elements, but like a freshie. Kind of like in the ballpark of the AQUA VITAE Forte or AQUA Universalis Forte, those kind of things. Maybe a little bit also like the NISHANE HACIVAT, but wow, this one, I just love it. It's just very sexy, classy, freshy kind of a thing. It's also very strong, and it was created by Dominique Ropillon, the famous perfumer, but gorgeous. Lots of great compliments. It seems to me that lately with global warming, hotter and hotter, I'm going or gravitating towards a fresher sense, and usually I get more compliments with fresher fragrances to begin with. So this one actually gets me lots of compliments. Again, people ask me what I'm wearing, and I say ORLOV Sea of Light, and they go, they've never heard of it. I mean, I go, yeah, I know you probably never heard of it. It's a niche brand from Paris, inspired by diamonds, and we start a conversation, blah, and they're curious to try. Now, I'm not sure if they follow through, if they go and check it out, because they sell these at Lucky Scent, and if they don't, they don't, I guess. But I guess some people do. But it's a great compliment getter. If you don't know it, do check it out. A great brand. They also have a fragrance called Star of the Season, which is a sandalwood-based fragrance that I absolutely love. So this is a Sea of Light from ORLOV Paris, and that's number 14. Another rose one that gets me lots of compliments from ladies. This is Intense Cafe. Now, this is rose again, as I said, but it's rose with coffee and milkiness. So it's a very milky cafe latte rose. Like it's almost the combo of the three equally. It's how great it smells to me. Just a great balance of those notes, and it's a Montale, so it has a little bit of a Montale-esque vibe to it. You kind of get it, but it's completely original, although there have been copies now of this one from other brands. But compliment getter. Ladies stop and ask me what I'm wearing, and then I go, it's Montale Intense Cafe. Then they want me to tell them where they can buy it from, and they even ask me to order it for them, and then they come back to me and they pay me for it, and then I give them the bottle. I've had that happen a couple of times at least, but it's just a great scent. When that happens, like when people like really ask you to buy it, they give you the cash and everything for you to buy it. It's like they really like what you're wearing, the smell of what you're wearing. So that has happened many times or several times with Intense Cafe. That's Montale. So that's number 13. Number 12, we're going to the house of Atelier Cologne, and this is Clementine, California. Now this one, oh man, this is such a great freshy, sparkly, effervescent kind of grapefruit or clementine, and just a really, really beautiful, beautiful scent. I mean, it just sparkles when you put your nose to it. It's like glistening with the shininess, just sparkling, but just gorgeous. Like one of the best freshies I've had this year. I wanted to do a review of it, but I never got around to it. But now it's winter, so probably next year. But if you're looking for that very, really sparkly, uplifting, happy kind of a citrus fragrance, Clementine, California is the one for you to try. And grapefruit or clementines, well, I guess it smells like grapefruits to me, but clementines and grapefruits are not the same fruit. So a beautiful, beautiful citrus, not too sharp, not too tart, slightly sweet, slightly tart, the great, great combo. Clementine, California, number 12. This next one that gets me lots of compliments at number 11 is called Over the Musk by Mugler. Now this is part of the Mugler L'Exceptions collection. This is a Mugler style musk. So it's got like a Mugler slightly gourmandish touch to the musk, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's more of a skin scent to me than it is like a projection kind of a fragrance or like a big projecting fragrance. But that's kind of why I think I get the compliments, because it's not so loud, and when somebody gets closer to me, that's when it kind of like reacts, the people react to it very positively. And that's when they compliment me and ask me, what am I wearing? And I'm going, it's Mugler. And they go, oh, Angel. I'm like, no, it's not Angel. It's Over the Musk. You probably don't know about it because I don't know anybody selling this. It's on Nordstrom.com, but that's pretty much it. I've never seen it in any stores. I bought this one from, not Nordstrom.com, but Mugler.com. But a really, really gorgeous scent. Awesome, awesome, awesome release. I just wish it projected a little more. But I think if it did, probably it wouldn't get me the compliments. So that's a fine that way. But it's a cozy, cozy scent. If you like musk, but a gourmandish kind of Mugler-like musk, check out Over the Musk by Mugler. It's awesome. On to the top 10. We're going to one of my favorite houses, and I just put up a video for this house recently. Well, actually a couple of days ago for LAYTON Exclusive. But we're not talking about LAYTON Exclusive. We're talking about Herod. Now, Herod is one of those tobacco fragrances that's very classy and not like big and like potent, like beastly. And it's slightly closer to the body or skin. And this is a kind of fragrance, as I was saying earlier, that kind of gets me compliments. Fragrances that people have to get a little close to you to smell you. And that's when they do the complimenting. But you know what? It's mixed with my body chemistry, and when I've sweated a little bit and it's kind of projecting a little bit, is that when they get a whiff of that, still not like ultra projection, just kind of more closer, is when they make people usually tend to make the compliment. Now this one I've been wearing for quite some time. It's one of my favorite tobacco fragrances, if it isn't my number one favorite tobacco fragrance, because it smells so good. Just really, really yummy. But people tend to like this one on me, even though it's not one of those ultra freshy fragrances. Just like Noir de Noir or something, people just like it. And you know what? I think it's just a combo. I think it's just a combo of the floral notes in here, and the tobacco and some slightly vanilla kind of a vibe that really gets people going. It's sweet, it's cozy, it's comfy, still has that little dirtiness from the tobacco, is when people really enjoy smelling this one on me. So Herod, if you don't know it, do check it out. It's very, very classy fragrance. I think it's one of the classiest tobacco fragrances, and gets me lots of compliments. It's a compliment getter, and it's number 10. So we're going back to the house of NISHANE again, and this one actually is very, very unique fragrance, and it's one that I didn't think I would ever end up really liking, but actually I had done a sample test of it too when I did a video for smelling the NISHANE line. And it didn't wow me, but it was because sampling fragrances from samples is the most difficult thing for me. I don't get wowed by a lot of them. It has to be from the bottles. So anyway, it was love at first sniff from a bottle, and I had to have it. It's Ambra Calabria. So it's a amber, it's also slightly aquatic, which, you know me, I don't like the aquatics that much, but this one is really, really lovely. It's a very, very green, like ultra green, freshy, with a like amber, like a green kind of an amber. But man, when I wear this one in the heat here in San Francisco, where it's become like ultra hot in the summertime, compliments galore. Like people ask me, what are you wearing? People stop me on the street and go, what are you wearing? And I go, hey, it's, well, I don't show them the bottle, but I go, it's Ambra Calabria. And they're like trying to figure out what it is, because a lot of people are that compliment me are not really used to the more niche style fragrances. And I always like to educate people that ask me what I'm wearing about niche perfumery, because most of these people are only used to fragrances that are sold in the department stores. They don't know where to go find these kind of fragrances. And I tell them and all that good stuff. I also, you know, tell them about my channel and so forth to learn a lot about the fragrances. So this is a major, major compliment getter from this house, NISHANE. Actually, a lot of their fragrances are amazing for me. Many, many fragrances of theirs are just really, really awesome. And this is one of the newer discoveries for me from this brand. It's just great, great scent. So Ambra Calabria, it's almost like abracadabra from NISHANE. So this next one is a fragrance I've had in my collection for quite some time. It's from the house of by KILIAN. We've done a by KILIAN fragrance already. This is Straight to Heaven. Straight to Heaven patchouli, okay? So patchouli, but it's smoothed over and sweetened up a little bit with dried fruits, vanilla, and of course it's a boozy patchouli. So yummy, yummy, yummy. It smells like, man, it's so good. It's so good, and I like to wear this in the heat. In the heat, it sweetens up a lot more. It becomes vanillic, and like, you know, the dried fruits pop through with the vanilla. Of course, the booziness is still there on the rum and the patchouli, but it's more sweeter. It just kind of is beautiful that way. So that's when actually I get the compliments. So the contrast of the patchouli with the sweetness just really garners me lots of compliments with this one. And if you wear it in the if you wear it in the cold days and you don't sweat, it's not as sweet. It's a lot darker, and it's a lot like not, I'm gonna say savory, but it's not the right word to use. It's just not as sweet when you wear it in the winter when your body's not sweating. But just try it in the heat, man. It just smells great, and that's when I get the compliments. It just smells so great. It also projects a lot more when it's hot out and you've sweated with wearing this stuff, compared to when you've not sweated wearing it in the heat. So a night and day difference with wearing it from one to the other, but overall a great, great fragrance that gets me lots of compliments. Now they have an extreme version that they put out limited, and I happen to have a 50 ml of it, and I'm really, really excited that I have that. I haven't tested it out to see if it receives the same kind of compliments yet, but definitely the original Straight to Heaven gets me lots of compliments. This next one is from the house of Tom Ford. Back to Tom Ford again. This is another one in my little atomizer. These atomizers they're not making anymore. They've changed them. They used to be 20 ml. Now they're 10 ml. This is Tobacco Vanille. Now Tobacco Vanille, I got so many compliments. 2 Thanksgivings in a row I was wearing when I went and visited family. And I wear them I think it's a very Thanksgiving kind of a fragrance. It just has the spiciness of Thanksgiving food with, like, you know, booze a little bit, maybe cigars or cigarettes that people are smoking. Just a cozy kind of a tobacco fragrance, but really, really loud. Projection is big on this one and gets lots of attention. And in the cold, it's actually perfect for wearing this one. So 2 or 3 Thanksgivings in a row, I wore this as my Thanksgiving scent of the day. And just, I got, well, not necessarily Thanksgiving scent of the day, just around that holiday time. And it got me lots of compliments. Just people really, really love the way this smells on me. And I really love this scent. I think it's one of their better fragrances from the house of Tom Ford, especially from the Private Blend collection. And I think it's one of the ones that projects the most out of all of them. So if you don't know Tobacco Vanille, you've got to find out. I do have a video that I recently launched a few months ago comparing Tobacco Vanille to Frank Boclet tobacco. But check that out and to learn about Tobacco Vanille. And also, if you don't know it, do check the scent out itself because it's a great scent. I love it. So that is number 7. So this next one is going back to the house of Parfums de Marly again. And with this house, we've got the fragrance called LAYTON. So I just did a review for LAYTON exclusive. I haven't gotten compliments with this one yet, so I'll test it out more or further. But LAYTON, man, gets me so many compliments. Amazing, amazing compliments. It's one of those freshies that has no performance issues, if that makes sense. So it's a great performing freshie with like a backbone. Amazing, just an amazing scent. Fruity, woody, just gorgeous. And then the new one has the added HACIVAT note, so it's got a little bit of more of an oriental kind of vibe. Still smelling similar to the original. But this one gets me lots of compliments. Just smells really great on me. Projection is also big. It's not like this one where I was saying it's very close to the skin. This one, projection is just amazing. You only need a few sprays. And it's got the Parfum de Marly DNA, an absolute dream come true of a fragrance. So gets lots of compliments. But obviously the ones that I have here further down the list get me more compliments. I think it's because this one is a little beefy, maybe a little strong for some people to get me the compliments. But I absolutely love this scent, and it's the best of both worlds. It's a freshie, it's a beastly, it's a projection monster, just all of that good stuff. If you don't know it, you got to check it out. LAYTON is at number 6. It's number 5. We go into the house of Creed. Okay, we do have a Creed in this list. It is AVENTUS. This is my little travel bottle where I have the bigger flacon of it. But AVENTUS is the king of freshies, I guess. I mean, people tend to really like this on me. I don't love it as much as I like other fragrances, but this one, if I want compliments, I just wear AVENTUS and I'll get compliments right and left. It's one of those classic fragrances where you don't have to think a lot about it and still wear it and smell great and fresh and refreshing and get compliments. Just works perfectly with lots of body chemistries, and for me it does, obviously, because I get the compliments wearing it. Performance is not as good as like the Nishane's HACIVAT, but HACIVAT gets performs much more. But I haven't put HACIVAT into testing too much, but because it's fairly new. But AVENTUS I've had for the last 4 or 5 years, and I know it just gets me lots of compliments. So do check it out if you don't know AVENTUS, but I'm sure you already know. All right, this next one is from the house of Eccentric Molecules again, and this is Molecule 1. So Molecule 1 is like a cedar sandalwood molecule, and Molecule 4 was the Javanol. This is ISOE Super, that's the name of the molecule. And it's one molecule that's supposed to smell like a combo of cedar and sandalwood. When I did that video for Molecule 4 and Eccentric 4, I noticed that the information said that this molecule is more like a sandalwood. But to me, I get cedar. I get cedar from it. It's more cedar to me, and Molecule 4 is more sandalwood. Very creamy. But this one's very woody and dusty. But compliments come to the max with this one. Something about this one just gets you compliments, and sometimes you don't even smell it on you and people are smelling it on you, projecting off of you from your body, sweat, and all that good stuff, and just compliments galore. This is when you don't want a fragrance to smell like a fragrance, but still want to get compliments. You don't want to wear a fragrance, you're burnt out of, from wearing fragrances. This is the kind of fragrance you wear this, or Molecule 4, or Molecule 2, or from the house of Atelier Cologne again. And it is Rose Anonyme. So many compliments with this one, and I think it's because it's so fresh with that heaviness from the oud and the base. But it's kind of one of those fragrances that's like effervescent, very bright and uplifting, but smells so good. This is probably my #1 favorite Atelier Cologne fragrance. I absolutely love it, and it gets me lots of compliments. Even though it's a freshie, it has legs, like it performs really nicely. And I do have the X-Ray edition of this one, and that smells even better, but it's a lot denser, it's a lot thicker, and it's heavier, which is better for wintertime. But you know, like the rest of the year when it's warm out, not as cool, this is the one to go with. People love this one on me, just absolutely love it. And something about the rose here just works magic on me. So check out Rose Anonyme if you don't know it. You've got to check it out, especially if you're a big rose fan. So that is at number 3. Okay, so this next one is from the house of Le Labo. It's number 2, and it is Bergamote 22. Another one that's all this bright and uplifting and shiny, sparkly, happy. The fragrance is one of the happiest citrus fragrances I've ever worn. And people love it on me. They just absolutely love it. And I walk into elevators with this one and people like, whoa, what is he wearing? Or what is somebody wearing? It smells so good in here. Where everything else around smells bad or whatever, you know, like in the city and the streets and all that good stuff. So when your like nose is like used to the city streets and, you know, everything else on the streets, and you walk into a building and walk into the elevator and I'm in there and I'm wearing this, people are gonna be like, whoa, that smells so good. So I usually tell people what I'm wearing, Le Labo. A lot of people are actually knowing what Le Labo is now because they're just like expanding like to the max, especially after they got purchased or bought out by Estee Lauder Corporation. So they do know the brand now, and because their products are in hotels, so people travel a lot and they get to stay in these hotels and they get familiarized with the brand. And so when you tell Le Labo, a lot of the other brands people don't know, but they do get to be familiar with Le Labo. So they know this brand and they will definitely say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go check it out because you smell so great. So another one of those great releases. It smells great and people compliment me all the time with this one. So Bergamote 22 is awesome at number 2. Last but not least, we're going back to the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian. So we started with Maison Francis Kurkdjian at number 20 with AQUA VITAE Forte, and we're ending the list with number 1 with AQUA Universalis Forte, the lemony one. So now what I like about this one, it's that musk in the base that's really, really, really beautiful. It's a clean, almost laundry clean musk that's fresh to the max. But this is a freshie that has legs, like it performs excellently. So if you're concerned about freshie fragrances that are performing not performing as good, this one is the one to try. And this one actually kind of reminds me a little bit of this one too. So it's ORLOV Paris Sea of Light. Actually, it's a combo of these two that reminds me of this one. So they have the similarities. There's this like beautiful musk in the base that kind of really works well with my body chemistry. So if you don't know AQUA Universalis Forte, do check it out. It's a major compliment getter for me. People really love this one on me, and I absolutely love the way it smells. And it makes the wearing experience awesome when you wear something you love and people around you love it as well. So there you have it, my top 20 compliment getter fragrances for more luxury brands. What are your thoughts? Do you like these fragrances? Do you wear them? Do you get compliments with them? Also, please let me know what are your favorite fragrances that get you compliments so we can get a conversation started. If you want to pick up samples or decants, I'll have links in the info box. You can buy full bottles or get yourself samples or decants as well, because it's always nice to try something before you end up buying a full bottle. Also, please like this video, please share it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.